can spend my life imagining. And that's why it's such a joy to me to throw you into a dystopia and to ask you what utopias you can create from it. So assuming we're all already living in a dystopia in which food not only dictates and controls our life, but we're very close to living in a world where we will no longer be able to access food the way we're used to now. Can you imagine a dystopia in which related to food, and can you think of the utopia you will create from that dystopia? Let's start with the dystopia. Very quickly, we'll do this really quickly. Can anybody think of a food-related dystopia? Think of all the books, read, movies that you've watched. What would some of the food-related dystopias be? You all know what dystopias are, right? An extreme world based on a specific human problem. Yeah. Okay, explain the dystopia then. That food falls from the sky is the only thing I know. That sounds like a utopia for me. I can't imagine not liking living in a world where all I have to do is look up and a steak falls on my hand. Or a meatball, I can live with meatballs. Does it have a negative effect? And I haven't watched it, I just watched the trailers. Oh, okay. So it started off as a utopia when the food fell down, and then what was the dystopia it created? Sorry? Again, this is why I love young people. I love young people. I will never work with adults again. I've said this many times and I'll say it again. Young people say the most interesting things. All the dystopias I came up with were related to food shortage. These were all based on various young fiction, young adult novels. I can't remember the name. You might know the famine state is basically everybody's hungry, there's not enough food. The Harvest Republic is when food is controlled by a few major corporations and we're all dependent on them for the food that we eat. The barren fields is where our land dries out, global warming, nothing grows. And finally, the synthetic diet is food, like everything else, has become mass-produced and digitalized, and we're all eating pills. These are some of the dystopians that exist today in young people, young adult fiction, all based on the scarcity of food. Not once did I think of a dystopia that was from an abundance of food. This is why young people are awesome. I don't think any adult in this room, am I right, would have thought of a dystopia that started from the abundance of food. And young people are awesome. They just come up with things we never think about. Okay, I'm going to let you go a while because I'm sure Neil has much more interesting things for you to do than to listen to someone who's got grey hairs sprouting from the side of their head. But I'll end you with this thought, right? Food should not be taken for granted. And if you want, and I'm sure you all want to eventually have an impact in this world, one area in which you might want to focus on having that impact is in the area of food, in any way, from production all the way to consumption. Because of the growing population, because of the environmental disasters that can face us at any point, because of logistical breaks, right? Breaks in the food chain at any point, any one of us could be one of those people who struggle and scavenge to find food. And that dystopia could happen anytime soon. It's not out of the realms of our imagination. And part of the way you could create impact is to either stop those dystopias from happening or find ways to solve them should they happen. It is your responsibility after all, because we have to feed ourselves. So spend the next 4 days thinking about what you would do if you were tasked with feeding the whole world in any of these dystopian situations. Identify the problems, talk to, listen to people, work with people to find the solutions to those problems. Learn about people's processes and the world. Plow ahead, be creative in thinking of new solutions. And last of all, take initiative and take charge. Thank you very much. Neil, I assume you will tell them what's next.
Questions if you want.
Right. Do you have any questions for me? Again, I'm not an expert on food. I am an expert a little bit on human behavior in relation to food, so happy to answer any questions, or just about food in general, like what the best places to eat are in Singapore. That I definitely can help you with. Any questions?
Want to digest everything before the discussion?
Yes. And hopefully not regurgitate it and all that wrong.
Good food references. Phenomenal.
No? Okay, thank you for making my life easy by not asking any questions.
Thank you, Fuzzy.
Thank you, Neil.
Perfect timing. So we have about 15 minutes at 10:30.